ordering a pizza to watch the debate because he's already going to get some word salad. Adam Carolla.
Yeah, get it on. Got to get on the Choice Mandate. You get it on. Thanks for tuning in. I love that about you. Excited Fitz Dog back for his 100th episode, everybody. As commemorated in Mylar behind me. Good to see you, and congrats on the stand-up special.
Thank you very much. It was very meaningful to me that you watched it. You sent me a really nice note, and you're somebody whose opinion about comedy I respect, and I know that you also have attention deficit disorder. So the fact that you sat through 52 minutes is admirable.
It was very good. I watched the entire special. Very funny. I have Fitz Dog. I don't know if people know what a technician he is, a journeyman comic, a pro. You go, oh, this guy, he's been doing it for a while and he knows what he's doing. That's what you will get from watching this. Also, it looked great because, I don't know, we don't need smoke machines and big vaulted ceilings and stuff. We just kind of need the light to be about right and the guy to do the comedy. Yeah,
I think it was, I shot it with the idea that you have to have certain specs to get it on Netflix. Like, it's got to be like 7 cameras and you got to have good lighting package and it's got to be 4K, all that shit. So it cost me a ton of money to do. And then I finish it, my agent's like, yeah, Netflix is booked up for 2 years. Like, They put out one a week and they're booked for 2 years. So I was like, well, fuck it. I said, I'm just going to put it out for free on YouTube and get people to come out to the clubs. That's the whole, it's an infomercial to just say, I love that I've been doing it this long. And this is kind of like my 7 years since I've done a special. So it's really, the material's solid and I just wanted to get it out.
Well, I think what the lay people don't really fully understand is the two parts of show business, which is there's the part where you get paid to do a job, like a radio show host or something. And then there's the part that Mike Agassi always calls gigging off it, and I could sort of remember being on K-Rock radio, being on MTV. They didn't pay anything, but I could gig off it.
Yeah.
Right. I could go do other things off it. And so when you come out with a special, it's great if someone will give you $1 million for the special, but it's probably better if you sell more tickets for live events because people see the special. And your special, I think last I checked, was 200,000+ on YouTube, which seems pretty robust to me. And the feedback was great. But have you seen ticket sales move in any direction?
Well, it just came out 2 weeks ago. I did the gig I did last weekend in Austin. I sold out every ticket to every show.
So that's in the positive realm?
And I would say to the audience how many people saw the special, and literally 40 or 50% of them had seen it. So luckily, I started building a new hour about 9 months ago. And so my goal was, by the time this came out, to have a new hour. And I did Denver the week before, kind of got it together, and then I did a whole hour of new material that I felt good about last week.
So would this be an accurate statement? And just to circle back to tickets, and you release it free on YouTube, so you go, well, wait a minute, you coughed out a bunch of money, coughed up a bunch of money, and now you're putting it out there for free. But would it be accurate to say that before the special came out, if you're doing a show in Austin, you have that conversation where they go, the early show Saturday sold out, but the late show Saturday needs some attention. Yeah. It's not selling like we'd like it to sell, versus everything's just sold out?
Yeah, it's really, and when it starts selling out, then you get a spillover, because Saturday night is, usually early show sells out almost anywhere you go. That's the show. But the difference is when it's going well, you start to see like the day before and the day of, all those people that wanted to go to the early show, just the late show suddenly fills up very fast.
And how's it working? I see, again, with the free model, that you can drop a little change in the tip jar when you see it on YouTube.
Yeah,
Are people participating in that?
It's amazing. I mean, because it's like, you think about what you'd pay to go see a movie or if you saw somebody live, it's $25. So a lot of people are just kicking in $5, $5 or $6. It's great.
Can you tell the metrics of it? Like you got 230,000 views.
255.
Oh, sorry, 255.
Yeah.
At this juncture, and can you go, well, 1,500 people contributed, or 2,000, or 5,000, or 400? They don't really let you know how many.
They tell you, but it's not those numbers. I'm hoping for those numbers. Maybe your listeners will be the ones that really step up and give money.
Well, I mean, is it 100? I mean, can't they give them to you and you can go, well, it's this percentage of people?
Yeah, it's probably, I'd say like maybe 400 or 500 people have given money. And and it goes, you can either donate at the YouTube, on YouTube, or there's like a second link that's in the blurb. And so it comes in two different places. Then you also make some money. YouTube, every 100,000 views, YouTube gives you like, a couple grand or something. So I'm making a little bit from that.
Yeah, well, good. Yeah. So it's working.
It's working, and it feels amazing because, like, since the pandemic, I haven't done shit. Like, there's no TV going on at all. Nobody's developing TV. Nobody's shooting TV. It's just like a holding pattern in Hollywood. So to have,
and when you're talking about TV, you're talking about being in the writer's room and creating and.
Writer's room, and then also, there's always like the, David Spade had that panel show. I always had a show.
Doing
panels. I was on
Chelsea
Chelsea lately before that. I was on Best Week Ever. There was always something that I was like getting my name out there on a regular. So for the last 5 years, I haven't had shit. And to have a project that I get to go out and do all the podcasts and be proud of it. Feel like when I look at the comments, that's what's made it worthwhile. It's not the numbers. It's obviously not the money, but the comments are just 99.9% really positive.
They'll let you know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The people will let you. And there are always some haters, as they say, but they will let you know.
Yeah.
Like, you will know by the comments.
Yeah. One guy said, I have a bit about not owning a gun. And then somebody said, You're too much of a beta to do an alpha move like buy a gun. And I wrote, it's kind of a beta move to write an alpha comment on his site, isn't it?
The other thing, too, is I come from a world where beta is pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Like, beta to me means silver and a B on your report card.
Right.
Like, I know it's alpha and beta, but it should be alpha and zeta or whatever it is. Because I feel like I'm one step behind the alpha. Like, the Corollas will take Bs all day long.
The alpha's got a lot of pressure on them. Because once you establish alpha status, you have to defend alpha status. Other people are going to attack the leader of the pack. They want to take him down.
Yes.
Beta, I've always said I crawl my way to the middle. I'm staying right there.
That's right.
Also, I thought alphas fought with bare knuckles. Like a gun feels pretty beta just in general.
That's
like,
true.
Let's get in the octagon. That feels very alpha.
Yeah, what are you so scared of? Why do you have to carry a gun?
I'll shoot you from behind my door if you come onto my porch.
Yeah.
The middle's
got beta vibes.
Yeah. I don't know why it reminded me of this, but I told Bean of Kevin and Bean a million years ago when I was working on his house in Simi Valley. Something. I built him. I had about a 6-month period to a year where I was half carpenter and half radio personality. And so I would do radio stuff, and then I would build stuff at the station, lockers for the jocks and slots to put the carts in, the cartridges. And I built stuff. Bean had about 10,000 vinyl, records, and he needed walls and walls. I mean, he needed stack 30 foot
in the studio.
No, that's at his home.
Oh.
I built stuff in the studio, the jocks, lockers, and the carts, separators. The carts are the cartridges where they fire the sounds off. Your dad knows.
My dad knows all about that.
But I was at his house, and I remember I was kind of doing what I normally do, which is like taking an hour and a half lunch and leaving a little bit early or something. And he said to me, he goes, Adam, you're one of these 90%ers who just never really does it full tilt, aren't you? And I said, no, I'm a 75%er who's giving you an extra 15%. So you're welcome, Bean.
That's hilarious. Yeah, some people aren't built for speed. You know, it's just like it's like building a baseball. Like I look at writers' rooms, and it's like building a baseball team. You're gonna have 9 writers. One of them is gonna be your fastball. That's gonna be the joke person. You know, one person is gonna be your utility outfielder who can sort of like, you know, just pitch in on any part of the story. Then you got story people. You've got people that just keep the room hot. Like sometimes you got a writer who doesn't get shit in the script.
You need
he does the physical gags.
The Philly fanatic out there, just running around on a Vespa, making everyone laugh.
Yeah, because you got 14-hour days, and you start to hit the wall, and then that guy knows get up, make a fart noise, grab a guy's ass.
I saw somebody tweeted me a commercial from the 70s that I immediately thought of you because it was super creepy. And I know
100 episodes. That's what you brought to this show.
And I do remember it from my youth. It's like from 1975, and it's for Love's Baby Soft. And it's for basically, Love's Baby Soft would be Axe for women. You know what I mean? Like a sort of all-body spray, powdery. Back then, they didn't think of that shit for dudes. Dudes were like Old Spice, you know, slap it on, or High Karate, Aqua Velva, you know. But the whole body spray was kind of the chick. But tell me how cringy and creepy this commercial is. It's a woman who looks like a woman child, you know, very soft edges and large eyes and light blonde, reddish hair, looking, you know, like she could be 16 or 17, nibbling or licking a giant lollipop.
Yeah.
And here it is.
There's one person nobody can resist, and that's a baby. So love made Baby Soft.
Baby.
With the innocent scent of a cuddly, clean baby. That you are very sexy.
Come on, a baby.
In foaming bath, body lotion, body powder, and body mist. So innocent it may well be the sexiest fragrance around. Love's Baby Soft, because innocence is sexier than you think. For your baby at Christmas.
Innocence is sexier than you think.
That's crazy.
And that was a national spot. It wasn't like, well, I was in Muncie staying with my grandparents for a while, and the local spot would play the Love's Baby Soft commercial. That was not regional. It was national, and I saw it, and I was like, oh, yeah, I do remember that one. Does it get creepier?
Well, Brooke Shields, there was a documentary about Brooke Shields.
Oh, that was
she was like
good.
13 years old. She was in Sassoon jeans, and the logo said, she said.
Wait, Calvin Klein.
It was Calvin Klein.
Yeah.
And she said, nothing comes between me and my Calvins. She's 13 years old.
And she was doing a lot of sort of pretzel, a lot of what I would call ghost scissoring. You know, just I just made that term up, but I think someone should run with it. Like laying on the ground, their legs kind of cocked open, and just sort of camera, you know, full Coos mount, you know, just pow right down the plate, you know, the machine plate there. Right. Yes, very retrospectively, ugh. Mm-hmm. Right.
And then she did a movie called Pretty Baby where she played a child prostitute. And they show her losing her virginity in a whorehouse. And she was, again, I think she was 13 years old when she made that movie.
Or even younger. And then also had nude pictures taken of herself when she was like 9 in weird, seductive things. And then
Brooke Shields' parents, not great.
Became the mom. The dad was out of the picture. The mom was a total
Then she became super successful. And, of course, the photographer was like, oh, man. I mean, look, if I've got a message to impart to my son, it's take as many pictures of underage chicks in a half dress as you can on the off chance that one of them will hit at some point and become a big star, and then you can sell those negatives back to the family, you know?
Right.
But, I mean, you got to cast a wide net.
Yeah, you got to
super
go
wide.
And don't be afraid to climb a tree or whatever it takes. Get the shot.
Yeah. So she took pictures with a photographer.
Yeah.
Like 9 in some sort of weird undressed, you know, sit in the bathtub. We were really creepy in the early 70s and mid 70s. And then the And then she became a huge star. And of course, the lech that took the 9-year-old Brooke Shields are like, I have pictures of nude 9-year-old Brooke Shields. And of course, because the guy's the biggest creep in the world, is like, I should sell these now that she's
Nothing
18 or
sexier than a
16.
baby.
Right. And so the Brooke Shields lawyers up is like, he can't sell these. You can't put them out in the public. And the judge overturns it. Judge's like, nah, I think people need to see these.
Yeah.
Like, okay,
Yeah.
this guy's awesome. 75, 10-year-old Brooke Shields.
No.
With consent of her mother.
Crazy. And you know what's crazy? She turned out amazing. She's like a really strong, independent, seems very well adjusted, great mom. Mm-hmm. Married
Chris Henchy?
Chris Henchy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Great dude.
Seems great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was Andre Agassi, before that.
They were the sexiest couple in the world at one point.
Well, I'll tell you what Andre had an issue. And the issue, and it's the exact opposite of your issue.
Uh-huh.
He made his hair his thing.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
okay.
Be careful, that guy. Or it's like there'll be guys like, oh, who's the guy? Oh, God. Who's the guy from the hair band, pardon the pun?
Flock of Seagulls?
Oh, the guy who's now Brett Michaels?
Yeah, like Brett Michaels.
Yeah.
Like you make your hair your thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, this happened to Leif Garrett as well, where like they make their hair their thing, and then at some point on their 27th birthday, they start noticing it's thinning out, and now it's like my superpower is my hair, and it's getting thin. So now the bandanas start coming out. Everything starts coming out. Fitzdog realized it early and just went, I'm bringing it down.
I realized that I had really nice, thick, beautiful hair, and I met a beautiful woman, got her to marry me. Hair fell out. Mission accomplished. It's like a booster rocket. You get
You're
through
done.
the atmosphere,
Done with
and then
it.
it just trails off into the
And you
ocean.
go, where's
Done.
the hair? It's in the Adriatic Sea.
That's right.
I don't know.
That's right.
No one
I'm
knows
in
where it
space.
is. It's gone.
I'm in space with a hottie right now.
But the hair didn't land on like a farmer in Kentucky. No, it's at sea. It's fine. It's gone. We jettisoned the hair. We don't need it anymore.
Yeah, we had scientists calculate it, and
That's
it's in
right.
the Adriatic Sea.
Yeah, so Leif Garrett was another guy who had the hair, and then you see him in the later interviews, it's all bandana time because the hair was the power.
I was going to
You know
say,
what I mean?
Brett Michaels has like a famous picture where he's in like a hospital bed unconscious, and they put the bandana on him
Right.
because he can't be.
Right, so
Yeah.
I feel very bad for a woman who marries a peak of hair power Andre Agassi and then has to sit there and look down at the drain in the shower and realize it's going away.
Those are her dreams, that hair going down the drain.
He's going to be a difficult guy to live with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm,
Right.
you know
Well,
what I'm saying?
He was playing tennis in a wig.
Oh, was he?
Yeah. Andre Agassi had many years where that was a wig.
Amazing.
Really?
Yeah. And I think he wrote a book, and it all came out that, not only was he dealing with the hair, but he's dealing with trying to compete and getting his wig on right. His tennis took a nosedive when he was playing in a wig.
It's like Samson and Delilah. Remember, he loses his hair, loses his power.
I never knew he played in a wig. That
And then he came back strong, and he kind of had a resurgence.
Oh, that's right.
When he went bald.
shaved, yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
That's right.
playing in a wig. It really sounds like a Jewish curse. May you play tennis in a wig on a hot day. Like that's an insult. Like,
Yeah, right.
It just seems horrible to try to play tennis in a wig. How many? And did other guys on the tour know it? And if they did, I would blackmail him. I'd be like, listen.
This headline says, why Andre Agassi wore a wig for a big chunk of his career, even though it cost him a match.
I would just blackmail him. I'd just go, listen,
Yeah.
I've seen you in the locker room, bro,
I
and
got
I'm
some
going to say
pictures.
something.
Right.
So you better just lose in straight sets. Otherwise, I'm going public with this shit.
And I got some pictures of your wife as a 9-year-old.
Yeah, I got those too. They're next to your bald pictures. She's bald too, by the way. That's a different subject. I don't want to get too graphic. I've said enough. We got the deal or not?
I think Pete Rose wore a wig also.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought he was just thick, weird mop.
If that's not a wig, I'd be shocked.
Oh, I think it's just big. I think that's
Really?
big alpha hair.
Yeah, that is
Yeah,
alpha hair.
That's alpha hair.
Right, right.
You know why? Because usually when you switch to the wig, you got to go, look,
Look at that.
we need. Here's what you need. You need a Jeremy Piven type ebb and a flow. So you need to go, oh, he was riding high when he was 25, and then you see pictures of him like at 33, and you go, God, looks like it's got a widow's peak there. And then you see a picture of him at 40, and now it's back.
Yeah.
I never saw any thin and Pete.
Yeah.
It was always just there.
It's just incredible.
Yeah.
It's like a
Charlie
divot.
Follicule. Thanks, Joe. It's a deep sports cut there.
Sports guy.
So, did Andre marry Brooke when he still had the big hair?
Oh, yeah, yeah. He was in his prime. They
yeah,
were
so
young.
there's no relationship that could withstand the losing of Andre's hair. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Like, she has to sit there while he laments every day, and at some point, you like come up to him and you go, you know, I've been hearing good things about Rogaine. And he's like, bitch, get out of my face. You know what I mean? He's in deep denial.
Or one of Hollywood's biggest stars traveling with you to Australia and then pinning your wig on before you take center court. Like, that's just, it couldn't have worked.
I think if he kept the hair, they'd still be married. Mm-hmm. That's my take. It's too much. You know, they talk about like losing a child and the stress of it was too much. And,
Yeah.
you know,
It's a lot.
losing your hair is the same. They don't say hair, they say child, but they mean hair.
Right.
Now, again, losing your hair when hair is your thing.
Yeah.
That's his thing. You know, again, if you're a stand-up comedian and you keep it short around the ears and tight, and at some point you just buzz it off, that's no harm, no foul. His thing was hair.
Yes, it's almost like if you're a bad parent and you lose a child, it's just not that big a deal. You know, you were never that focused on it. It wasn't your identity.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or you were like, you know, you had a few extra. Maybe one was in and out of juvie.
Yeah.
Bought it in a drive-by.
No, I think
You know what I mean?
Elon Musk isn't losing a lot of sleep about his trans daughter.
Oh, that's
He's
right.
like, whatever. I don't really.
And why is there like his name like X1C30 to the power of 4? And now she's going by Jim?
Yeah, I gave her a number for a reason.
Yeah.
You can subtract numbers.
Yeah. Yeah. I forgot. Oh, she's disowned him. Yeah, everyone hates their parents. I don't know. How are your kids doing? Do they
Right?
hate you?
Well, they did not like the special because
Oh,
it
no.
has a lot of stuff about me having sex with their mother in unusual ways, about her coming first, about sex in the kitchen. I told them don't watch the last 10 minutes, and my daughter's like, yeah, you forgot about the 9th minute also, and I was like, oh yeah, blowjob in the 9th minute.
Yeah, 9 minutes in. Yeah. Yeah, there was stuff sprinkled in.
Yeah.
I mean, but don't kids have to get over it? Because in the sense that we grew up in a time where, like, if I saw my mom's bare feet, I'd be like, oh, gross, put something on. Like, this is horrible.
Yeah.
My mom and my stepdad slept in separate rooms.
Really?
And the house I grew up in North Hollywood was a one-bedroom house. My mom slept in one bedroom, and my stepdad slept in this miniature little den where the TV and the wall mount, window mount air conditioner was, so that we would actually sit on his bed, which was like a day bed, like sofa bed, you know, weird, stupid day beddy, weird thing with wheels on it. We sat as a family. I sat and ate TV dinners on my lap. and watched
spilling
Maude.
gravy and crumbs on his
Yeah,
bed.
like he's got peas and carrots. You know,
God.
I sat there watching Maude, watching All in the Family. Maude eating TV dinner on my fucking lap on his bed where he slept every night. And then at some point, everyone would get up and move their trays, and it was the only room that had a TV and the only room that had an air conditioner. So it was like weather like this. And then at some point, people would go in for the night, and he'd like slide it out a little. He'd take the big sort of trapezoidal long pillow and throw it on the ground, and then he'd go to bed.
Well, you guys are thinking that's weird, and he's sitting there thinking, God, I jerk off on this thing, and they're eating food. It's so weird.
So I liked that they never slept in the same bed together because
Like
I
a
just
50s sitcom, yeah.
I didn't want to think about it.
Yeah.
I didn't want to know where they met ever.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to know how they met because I knew it would be something horrible for me. You know, in terms of my psyche goes, my stupid fucking buddy Ray. One day, long after I'm an adult, you know, I'm like 35, and he goes, "Hey, I found out where your mom and John, your I found out where they met." And I was like, "Oh, please, it's gonna be something bad." And he goes, "Primal scream therapy." And I'm like, wow. I was like, what? Sounds about right. God damn it. I didn't even want to fucking know that, but there we are. Damn. Yeah, primal scream.
How can two people that primal scream make love in a one-bedroom house and you never hear it?
It's a good question. I don't think they were as active as you described yourself in your stand-up special. At least that's my hopes and prayers. But yeah, I think primal scream people are super quiet outside of primal scream.
Yeah, they get their screams out.
I think they go there to do that. Yeah, like I don't think Gilbert Gottfried would have been to primal scream therapy because that's just a Tuesday for him complaining about something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they purge on a daily basis.
Yeah, I can see that. It's almost like, you meet that librarian type girl who's really sweet, and then she's a beast in bed.
Yes. Whereas the stripper's like, filing her nails and checking her voicemail.
Have you made love to a stripper?
Yes. Yes, I have.
Did you ever, and I don't know if you can talk about this non-disclosure, did you ever make love to a, what were the girls called on the Man Show?
Oh, the Juggies?
Did you ever make love to a Juggie?
Maybe I had a run-in with one of them at one point.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. But it wasn't really part of the MO.
But it's
there.
like that you tell the quarterback you can't have sex with the cheerleader. Guess what?
Yeah.
He's having that's part of her job.
Yeah, they shouldn't have brought it up.
They get $50 a game. They're not there for the...
Right.
Yeah, I'm fixing to take a pass at the Loves Baby Soft chick because I figure she's in her early 70s about now and ripe for the picking. You know what I mean? Like my fantasy is I find these people and I go, look, when I saw you, I was 11 and sitting on my stepdad's daybed.
Yeah.
And I had nothing going on. But now I got a little juice. I'm a New York Times bestseller.
Sure.
You're a little long in the tooth. What, he's 73, 74?
She's back in a diaper.
I think now's when I strike.
Yeah, it's like when I was 19, I lived in the Hamptons with my brother and another guy, and we had this little one-bedroom flea-infested apartment, and it sucked, but it was in a little condo community that had a pool. Mm-hmm. So the condo next to us was the Palumbo sisters, and they were from Queens, and Donna was a hairdresser, and Joanne was a corporate lawyer for Lee Iacocca. She was very successful, and they were both sexy Italian girls from Queens. And they'd come out on the weekends, and I started to have an affair with Joanne, who was, as I said, sexy, but she also turned 40 that summer, and I was 19.
Wow.
And we had this great relationship. Every weekend, she and her sister would come out. They'd cook lasagnas and meatballs, and then when they left on Monday morning, they would leave us Tupperware with the food. It would last us a couple days, and then they'd come back on Fridays. And I thought the other day, oh, my God, she is now, 80 years old, 78 years old.
Yeah.
I made love to a woman who's currently 78 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I know it is part of It is part of that, but it is kind of what you were saying too in the special that we were talking about your wife's age and when you're young, you know, you're like, I'd never make love to a 56-year-old woman, you know, when you're 19, and then you get a little older, and I don't know. I mean, it must be baked into our DNA to kind of go, no, as long as we do this gradually.
Yeah.
Like if we start fucking at age 28 and a half and we don't miss a month, we can make it to 100 and I'll still get a boner.
It's just when you separate for too long, you come back and you go, whoa.
Yes.
Whoa. It's like, and my wife, I think my wife is sexy as shit. She's beautiful, and I hit on her all the time, and sometimes she shuts me down, and I just look at her like, you're fucking 58.
Yeah.
You just take all the dick you can get at this point.
That's right.
I mean, this thing's not going to work forever.
Yeah, no, and there is no. She should loot dick at this point, like run around, grab as much as I can. Sounds like something they'd serve at the IKEA. It sounds like something they'd have at the IKEA in Burbank.
Meatballs.
Yeah, you want the
Dick.
loot dick.
Yeah.
We got loot dick. We got the salmon, or we got the Swedish meatballs in the IKEA cafeteria.
And they
in
got to
Burbank.
put the loot dick behind. They got to lock and key it. Like at CVS.
Too many looters. Too many looters.
All right.
All right. Other things to talk to you about.
Can I interrupt for a second?
Yes.
I have a list of things, in honor of Greg's 100th appearance. I have a list of things from in and around Greg's first appearance, March 8th, 2009, that I thought would be very fun.
Wow.
To see where we were in the world when Greg made his first appearance. First of all, I checked your YouTube page where your brand new special, You Know Me, is over 250,000 views. Do you know at the time you had one video on your YouTube page? And that was Greg Fitzsimmons on Jimmy Kimmel Live from 2006.
Wow. Okay.
That was your one and only post as of March 8th, 2009. Rihanna was likely still nursing some wounds after being beaten up by Chris Brown just a month before.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Conan O'Brien was on hiatus between Late Night and hosting The Tonight Show.
Oh, wow.
Michael Jackson had just announced his Is This
By the way,
It shows.
I'm in this. I'm Team Coco.
Your Team Coco
and Team Chris Brown.
Okay.
He didn't get a lot of support. So keep going.
Michael Jackson had just announced his Is This It shows, which he died while prepping for.
Wow.
I'm Team Michael Jackson dying.
Yeah.
It was 3 days before Bernie Madoff pled guilty to 11 charges in relation to his Ponzi scheme. Mm-hmm. The iPhone at the time was the iPhone 3G.
That was a good one.
Was not released until 2010. The iPad didn't exist, nor did Uber or Bitcoin or Instagram. Grindr launched at the end of the month and was the first dating sex app to use geolocation.
Yeah, I always love that. It's like you find the closest gay guy. It finds the closest gay guy to you. Mm-hmm. And so I have a rental unit behind my house. And the guy back there, me and my wife were always like, is he gay? I think that guy's gay because he's beautiful, but he's Asian. So
it's tough when stereotypes compete.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he's black, but he's super prompt.
So my other neighbor who lives 3 doors down is gay, and he's hilarious. And he texts me one day. He goes, hey, Fitz, I got on Grindr, and I'm currently having sex about 20 feet behind your house.
It's amazing.
He just located this guy. He just walked over to my house.
It is. I mean, guys are very brass taxy when it comes to sex.
Right.
Obviously.
Yeah.
And I think and it's probably why. Well, it's probably why something started like AIDS and spun out so fast, because with women are sort of the gatekeeper. They're like, slow it down, wait for the next date, not on the first, not I just met you 10 minutes ago kind of thing. When guys are in charge of who and when and, when do we get started, the answer is always just here and now.
Yeah, it's a hockey game with no goalies.
That's right. That's right. High scoring.
Yeah.
That's right.
And also,
sorry,
like
anything else?
When I think about gay guys using the geolocating, like if you want to like get a guy to have sex with you, literally just if you're a woman, just pick any guy. You could be at a Bennigan's,
Right.
And a dad's at his son's birthday party. Just
That's
be like,
right.
yeah, I want to.
That's
Yeah,
right.
have sex with you and be like, all right.
I lost a bet and was on Grindr for 48 hours, and I got a message, and the guy just said, "You're 150 feet away from me, so wanna fuck?" And
Yeah.
that was it. You're nearby.
Right.
Wanna
Wait,
fuck?
are you gay?
No.
Oh, you lost.
Yeah,
the
I
bet.
lost a bet.
Oh.
Don't bet on the New York Giants ever. Yeah, so the guy was just like, we're in the same building. That was all he had to
No.
suggest. And
Yeah.
he thought I was gonna be like, sure, you're here, I'm here.
Jesus.
Why wouldn't we fuck?
Yeah.
It would be pretty sweet. Be a good
And
life.
Joe was in a single-family dwelling at the time.
Yeah.
So it was pretty freaky.
Yeah.
He's in the house.
He's in the
guy's in the house.
Calls coming from inside the house.
That's right.
Last couple things. Right Round by Flo Rida was the #1 song, featuring Kesha when you were first on the show. And Amazon's stock price was $3.11.
And what is it today?
$175.40 as of yesterday.
So if you put in $10,000, you would have $500,000 right now.
Is that
Yeah.
the math?
Yep.
Unbelievable. Jesus Christ. All right, couple more things to get into with you. I had a situation. I don't know what to call it. I'd I've gone back and forth a little on a group text with Jimmy Kimmel over a few different subjects with a few different groups. But one of them is Ed Kranepool, the New York Met, died very recently, and Jimmy always thought I looked like Ed Kranepool.
Oh, I can see that.
So
Yep.
he sent me a text, although we did seem to summon a picture that, I don't know, feel that looks like less than me than a lot of Ed Kranepool pics. Do you feel that way, Joe?
I think it's pretty good.
Pretty good?
We have
All right.
we have a couple different versions in there.
So he
for
sent
you.
me a picture of Ed Kranepool saying he died. I pointed out to Jimmy that whereas he may have said I looked like Ed Kranepool, he more often said I looked like a retarded Pete Sampras. So speaking of hair issues, So I had to remind him of that. But I went back and forth with him a little, and then later on found out that he'd won an Emmy for the Oscars.
Oh, right.
Right. Now, and then it led to more confusion because they did a whole pre-Emmy thing, or whatever they call it. They did the whole Emmy thing last weekend, and then they're doing the nighttime Emmy Awards this whatever.
Right.
And so
The creative Emmys, I think, are the
Correct.
week before.
yeah, and the Oscars beat out the halftime Super Bowl show.
And the roast, the Tom
And
Brady
the Tom
roast.
Brady
so they
roast.
beat out his buddy Jeff Ross.
And they beat out a few things. I did not congratulate him on winning an Emmy. I was too ensconced in Ed Kranepool's career. But I also didn't know about it because it wasn't the Emmy. Okay, here's what happened. He has a guy who's a writer on a show named John who is on the East Coast. And John just randomly reached out to me to send me a note.
Is that Big John?
No, it's John. I don't know if he wants me
Yeah,
using his
okay.
name or not, but I'll tell you, it's no big. It's not
Yeah.
a household name or anything. Not Tall John.
Not Tall John.
So John said, so I did what I do with people that are on the East Coast, who I like, but I haven't seen in a long time. I go, hey, when's the next time you're coming out to L.A.? And then he goes, in a few days for the Emmys. We got nominated for the Oscars because he wrote on the Oscars, and I was like, oh. The Emmys are coming in a few days? And then I don't write him back because I look up when are the Emmys. And it says a week from now or whatever. And then I do he said he's coming this Sunday, but he meant next Sunday for the Emmys. So then I should have wrote him back and said hey, cool, you got some time, or can we get together or have a drink or something like that? But I didn't because I thought he wasn't coming for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then the thing came and went. Then I sort of seemed like a dick for not replying, but I also seemed like a dick for not saying congratulations because I kept thinking the Emmys haven't happened yet. But the Emmys have happened in certain categories. But I would argue that the Oscars and the halftime Super Bowl show are big enough to shoehorn into the regular nighttime
I was
Emmys.
shocked that was part of the creative because my friend Mike Gibbons was the head writer on the roast.
Right.
So he went and I was like, yeah, why isn't this on the regular Emmys? And I couldn't even find, I was tracking it. I was about to go on stage and I was tracking it because I knew it was coming up soon. You couldn't even find it online.
Right.
Yeah.
So what are we to make of this society? Because we all know Hawk to a girl.
Sure.
You know, it's just like, so I started like saying,
Nominated for 4 Emmys, by the way.
Hawk to a girl,
yeah,
right. And
right.
so then I started going, wait a minute, did Jimmy win an Emmy for the Oscars? And then people were like, they haven't done the Emmys yet. And I was like, I heard that then I started looking online, like, when are the Emmys? I was like, the Emmys aren't for another week. And I had to just put Jimmy Kimmel Oscars, like Emmy or whatever. But are we so kind of done with award shows that we're just sort of are all staring at our phones or in our own worlds or looking for the next Haktua girl? Or
Well, I think what they're trying to do is cut down on the length of the show. So they're taking ones that people don't care about. But again, I don't know why. I mean, take the costume designers and people like that and put them in the creative.
Well, what is bigger than the halftime Super Bowl show or the Oscars every year?
And the Tom Brady thing. The
Right.
first time they've live streamed an event like that
was
in
massive.
history. Yeah.
Right.
It was 3 hours long. It had every big name. It was crazy.
I agree. So anyway, if we're in the selection committee, we would make some changes, but I want to get that out there.
Yeah. Well.
Also, tell me if this doesn't sound like pure shit. I was in so funny. I was in Alaska. I was flying Alaska Airlines back from Portland last week, and I was sitting in first class on the morning flight.
Nice.
And the woman, the stewardess, flight attendant came by, and she was giving the breakfast options, and one of them was overnight oats with passion fruit. And I was like, I've heard of steel cut oats. I think what we try to do is highfalutin up oats because it's just fucking oats that we grew up with, the shit horses eat. You know what I mean? It's just fucking oats. But they go, these are steel cut oats. Oh, as opposed to the ones that are cut with hair. They're like, what do you mean steel cut? This is steel. These are overnight oats. And it's got passion fruit, which I object. But by the way, we're in worse shape now because dragon fruit has taken over for passion fruit, and passion fruit sucked enough. Dragon fruit is the fucking worst. It is flavorless. It looks like everything, tastes like nothing. Joe sampled it in front of me.
Had it for the first time in front of you. Tastes like nothing.
Tastes like nothing.
Passion fruit has a distinct taste.
Yes, I disavow it. I reject it.
It's passionless fruit. It has no passion.
Dragon fruit looks like everything and tastes like nothing. Mm-hmm. Is that about right? It tastes like a mealy texture of something. But anyway, so now there's dragon fruit. But the point is overnight oats with passion fruit. And I just said to the stewardess, I was like, what does that mean, overnight oats? And she just goes, I don't know. which is now the new thing. I was just like, fuck, so beaten down by work and life and commercial airlines.
And that's the first class attendant. That's not the coach.
Oh, during COVID. Oh, that was first class. Yeah. Oh, no, during COVID, I was like, yeah, give me a vodka, soda water, and lemon. And they're like, we don't have lemon. And I was like, no lemons in first class? And she's like, no. I go, well, why not? Why no lemon? She goes, COVID. And I go,
yeah.
What's COVID have to do with lemon wedges? And she goes, I don't know. She just laughed, I'm fucking tapping out.
I did the same. I went to Starbucks and I'm like, order my coffee. Can I get? Where's the creamer? There's no pictures out anymore.
Right.
Can I get some cream? And then some acne-ridden dolt, just puts in like a half a cup of fucking milk.
Yes,
I go, why can't we have the picture? Because of COVID. COVID ended years ago.
What we need at the Starbucks is I have the same thing. Everyone took all the shit and they moved it behind the whatever.
Yeah.
And then they go, you want some cream with that? It's like, I do, but I don't trust your heavy cream hand. I wish that guy was pouring drinks instead of pouring cream because he's fucking heavy cream hand. It's super light with the jigger back there.
Yeah.
But I want, what we need now? We just need a small, medium, large cream dispenser. Let's take the guesswork out. Like behind the thing, just go small cream, light cream, boom, press it.
Dunkin'
Press it
Donuts
once.
has
I was gonna
that.
say Dunkin'
Oh,
Donuts.
I didn't know they had that.
Yeah, they got
Oh.
it.
You go 2 creams, 2 sugars,
Yep.
2 whatever.
You're
They're-
pushing a button?
Well, no, they just do everything, but it's all measured back there. So
Oh.
if you order from
It's a, no,
Dunkin',
it's a button. It's like
Yeah,
those
yeah.
those bottles and bars they hang upside
Right,
down
yeah.
and they dispense a shot.
I'm a LA guy. Duncan showed up late and never hit the Duncan.
It's not good.
So then this happens to me. I go first class. I go, all right, well, I'll have the cheese platter. And she goes, oh, we're out of the cheese platter. And I'm like, there's only one row in front of me. You know, there's only 4 people before you got to me. Why are we out of the cheese platter? And she goes, people pre-order. And I'm like, oh, so they speak for all the good stuff before I get onto the plane? That's fucking diabolical.
that can't even be true.
And you should give me the opportunity to fight the person who pre-ordered the
true.
cheese platter. Like, so they took my cheese platter. I'm here. I'm on this flight. I'm in first class. They took cheese. The skinniest woman on the planet gets the cheese platter across the aisle from me and puts it down, and it is a dairy full of cheese. It is more types of cheese and bigger chunks of cheese than I've ever seen in a cheese platter. But the cheese platter can be a burnt offering. Sometimes you get a little Gouda and a wedge of Havarti and a couple of Triscuits, and that's half a strawberry, you know.
Yeah.
No, this was a massive cheese platter. This bitch proceeds to take one bite out of like one wedge and then like sets it down and then leans back. And then at some point the stewardess comes by and it's like, you done? Yeah, I'm done. And they pick up 40 pounds of untouched cheese and starts to walk it to the trash can. And I'm like, you know, she only touched one.
Yeah.
She didn't like, it's not like she licked all of them and then fell asleep. She
Right.
picked up one, took a bite, lactose intolerance kicked in, set it down, all going in the garbage can. And I'm like, that was my fucking cheese platter. Or I could have got the overnight oats.
The overnight oats.
Somebody, Byron, look up and see what an overnight
I
oat
know what
is.
overnight oats
What
are.
is that?
So essentially, you know, you get like oatmeal back in the day, and they would take your oats and they'd put some hot water in it, so it immediately gets to be soft. Now what they do is they'll take some oats and they'll put it in the fridge just with like milk or water overnight. And you
Do they cook it first?
No, it goes in with like some milk or some condensed milk and fruit, and then just over the course of the night, it softens up and it becomes like a oatmeal parfait.
Let me tell you something, Adam. I hate to disagree with you because I know this show is called the Adam Carolla Yes and Show. Mm-hmm. Overnight oats are fucking amazing. I love them.
I would have liked the description. That's all. But this one had passion fruit in it, which
Yeah.
Do a little
angry.
passion fruit, some oats, some milk, and a thing. They left it for 4
I'm
weeks.
angry
and
at.
Yeah.
All right, you got some news, Joe?
I do.
All right, why
There
don't
we
we
go.
let's take a quick break. We'll come back and do some news with Joe Praino. Simply Safe. We got to love me some Simply Safe. I've used it. I've trusted it. I've recommended it for years. They've been with us longer than almost any sponsor. And I've partnered with them to offer my listeners peace of mind and 50% off. Just visit simplysafe.com/Adam. Again, you go online, you set up the system you need. You know how many sensors and cameras and whatnot. You get all set up. It's sent to you, and you set it up yourself. You do in a half an hour, and if you move, you take the system with you. They have exclusive 24/7 lifeguard protection. Simply Safe agents can act within 5 seconds of receiving your alarm and can even see and speak to intruders inside of your home. Install and activate in less than an hour. This is the brand we go with. It's Simply Safe. 2 eyes in there, right, Dawson?
Get 50% off a new Simply Safe system plus free indoor security camera with Fast Protect monitoring. Just visit simplysafe.com/Adam to claim this discount. That's simplysafe.com/Adam. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Ethos. I've invested in property and cars to protect my family and life insurance. You need life insurance. Ethos makes getting life insurance easy. Look, if you're responsible and you take care of people, you need life insurance. Apply for affordable life insurance. It's quick It's easy. It's all online without a medical exam. Just answer a few health questions for a free quote in less than 10 minutes at ethoslife.com/Adam. Again, life insurance isn't something you need if you're just kind of trying to get by and you're a lone wolf and you're not responsible or taking care of anyone. But if you have a family, you have people that count on you, then you need life insurance. Term life policies from 10 to 30 years of coverage start as low as $10 a month. Personalized coverage to your family's needs, like helping your kids through college or a spouse with a mortgage payment and more. 4.8 out of 5 stars on Trustpilot with over 1,900 reviews. That's Ethos, right, Dawson?
Protect your family today. Get up to $2 million in term life insurance coverage in 10 minutes with Ethos. Answer just a few health questions and get your free quote. Head ethoslife.com/Adam. That's ETHOS life.com/Adam.
So I did the Ancestry DNA test because I want to know how Irish I really was. And it's fun if you've done it. They send you a little kit. It's got a test tube in it, and you're supposed to spit into the test tube. I jerked off in it because I wanted the exact, precise. I get the results back. It turns out I'm 99% Irish, which is way too Irish. A little bit is charming. 99% feels kind of racist. It feels like, what's with nobody in the history of this family having sex with any other type of person? Especially when you're Irish. Like, which are the traits we're trying to protect here? Which of our characteristics is so magic we don't want to water it down? Is it the pasty white skin you can see veins through? Orange pubic hair? Freckles that turn to cancer by 30? Rage, alcoholism. Somebody fuck a black guy. Give us a shot.
Greg Fitzsimmons is on the Adam Carolla Show.
Fitz Dog stand-up special. You know me. Very funny. It's available on YouTube as we speak. Live dates coming up as well. Going to be at Zanies, Rosemont, Illinois. That'll be September 12th through the 14th. And then I think it's called Montserrat Winery, and that'll be in Temecula coming up. That'll be September 21st. Go to gregfitzsimmons.com for all live shows. Yes, Joe.
I hate to get you worked up about this for the second time today, but I know you wanted Greg to weigh in. Police have just released footage from Sunday's traffic stop involving Miami Dolphins receiver Tyreek Hill, and in the body-worn camera video, you can see cops yank the Dolphin star out of his sports car and throw him onto the ground following a dispute over his window.
I'm not really that whipped up about Tyreek or about the cop. I'm whipped up about everyone taking Tyreek's side. You have to comply with cops, otherwise they sort of get let loose. And after that, you get to a point of no return. But we'll show the clip to Fitzdog. Body cam. My suspicion was correct, by the way. These guys are like Cuban cops, and they don't watch American football, so they don't know who this guy is.
This guy's breaking out of that uniform.
I know. So Tyreek doesn't like him knocking on his window. But he rolled his window up, and the cop wants it down. So he's telling him to roll his window down. I think he cracks it and talks through it or something.
Hey, keep your window down. Keep your window down, I'm gonna get you out of the car. As a matter of fact, get out of the car. Give me your ass, Get out of the car. Give me your ass, I'm gonna break that freaking window. Get out of the car. Get out of the car right now.
These guys are Cuban, it sounds like.
Oh, it's a...
Get out. Get out. What part of blood don't you understand? Hey, Drew.
Thank God they're not white, is all I got to say.
I'm getting arrested. I'm getting arrested, Drew.
I gotta say, that guy taking him down like that.
Damn,
I don't know if you fire him or you make him a strong safety for the Dolphins.
You understand? You understand? Not what you want, but what
Tyreek goes over the middle. He's had worse than this.
Yeah.
Too late.
All right, so the cops are dickheads. My only argument is just comply. Just cop pulls you over. It's just yes sir, no sir. Don't roll your window up. They're gonna do this.
Stop crying.
I'm not defending the cops. I'm just defending compliance. Unfortunately, you just have to. And what I was saying, Fitzdog, to Joe earlier when I was doing an Adam and Drew show, which is like airport security. I've traveled through 1 million airports. I'm not a terrorist. I've never done anything, but you run into that thing where it's like, take your shoes off and take your belt off, and you just have to eat shit.
Yeah.
You can't go, give me a fucking break. I'm a 6-year-old man. I'm a law-abiding citizen. I pay my taxes. I'm not affiliated with Al-Qaeda. If you just go, I'm not going through the metal detector. I don't feel like I need to do it. I should have to do it. Eventually, you're going to get tackled.
Yeah.
Sadly, but you are.
Right.
And so I'm saying there is parts of society where you just have to kind of eat shit. Mm-hmm. Like being in a relationship with a woman. You know what I mean? You just have to kind of go.
Wow. Is that how you see it?
Well, I'm just saying you got to kind of pick. You got to pick and choose your moments of when to stand up and when just
and when
to kind
to put your window up.
Just put the window down and yes sir and no
Yeah,
sir
right.
and all that. And that's what I'm saying. Cops overreacted, but cops look for a reason to overreact sometimes.
Florida
then
cops.
They got this guy. This is his teammate that they also put in handcuffs because he was trying to call Tyreek's agent.
Right, but he was told 4 times, get in your car, and he wouldn't do it.
Let me have your license. I'm not playing.
No, before this, if you go back 30 seconds, they said, get in your car.
Yeah.
Get in your car. Like, how many times can a cop tell you to do something?
Just get in the car.
On the side of the
Hey, get in the car. You're parked in the middle of the street.
Not really the middle of the street.
Right. It's like the cops are also parked in the middle of the street.
Yeah.
All right, move. You gotta move right now. Let me have your license. You're gonna have to get to.
You can't ask somebody for their license unless they're breaking a law.
Let me have your license.
No, Florida cops are assholes. I've had
Yeah.
women. They are
Yeah.
jacked up and they're looking for trouble.
Yeah, I had a cop. I got into trouble at an airport once, and it was just like they closed the door, and it was the last flight out of Vegas. And I was going to have to spend the night in Vegas, and it was like 40 minutes before maybe 45 minutes before the flight, and McCarran was empty, and it was like a Friday night at like 10 o'clock, and it was the last flight out, and I didn't check in an hour before the flight. I was trying to check in 45 minutes before the flight, and they're like, we check in an hour.
Ugh.
And I'm like, I'm standing here. There's nobody in the airport. I can get to the plane in 14 minutes. I bought a ticket. I'm checking in, and I'm going to the gate. And they're like, nah, it's too late. And I'm like, it's not too late because we got 45 minutes and I'll be there half hour before the flight leaves. Yeah, but you needed to check in an hour before. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. This is the last flight out of Vegas. We don't have hotel rooms. We have to go rent a car at midnight and drive back to LA. Just check me in. And supervisor, I'm like yelling at the supervisor. And next thing you know, they call the cops.
No.
And the same guy, big meathead. This guy's redhead, but meathead. Meathead dude shows up. I don't know why they ride mountain bikes through the airport.
Yeah.
I don't know why you need a mountain bike
Right,
inside an airport. You have a people mover.
Yeah.
They should get on the people mover with the mountain bike and just spin the tire, sit in one place. So the guy comes up to me. He's like, "Hey, what's going on here?" And I go, "Listen, I'm just trying to get you raising your voice or whatever. Like, come with me." Now I'm getting detained. Mm-hmm. Airports have a secret room with no windows in it, with a big wooden table with a big eye hook in it that sticks out. That's the chain you to the table thing. And then the guy, I go, okay. So I go get in the secret elevator, and the guy goes, face the wall, face the corner. Put your face to the corner. And I'm
like you're a child standing in the corner.
So I start going to the corner in the back left of the empty elevator to put my face in the corner. And he goes, wrong corner, go to the right. And I was like, this guy wants me to turn around and go, what the fuck is going? And then that's when the mace comes out, right? Like there's no difference in the corner. He wants me to turn around and go, what the fuck?
Right.
And I went, but here's my point. I went to the other corner because I know he's looking and I don't want to fucking get hit with a baton. And then later on, I sat in his office and he's like, and then he leaves. You know, that's the other power move. They just leave you sitting there. And then the guy comes back and he goes, so what do you do for a living? And I go, oh, I had like comedy, like a celebrated author, you know, comes through my head, podcast king, you know, like a bunch of stuff like comedy goes through my head. But I know if I say comedy, he's go, oh, not so funny. You're getting arrested there. I knew he'd go funny, man. I knew there'd be something. So he just goes, what do you do for a living? And I go, and he goes, you don't know what you do for a living? And I was like, I went through like 5 jobs that audience warm up back. I just said carpenter because people leave you alone.
Well, Jesus was
it's
a carpenter.
noble.
Yeah.
Yes. And we have a 15-second clip of your interaction in Vegas. Oh, we do? Somebody took a vid of that?
But I haven't done anything. 45 minutes before a flight. 45 minutes before a flight.
You guys make. Yeah, thanks for the help. And don't make us the bad guys. You guys. You're the bad guy. That's when he arrested me. I talked back to him.
Yeah, you had some real anger behind that though. That wasn't.
We were
dialogue.
literally checked out of our hotel. We're gonna have to go find a hotel.
Worst.
Yeah.
And they dig in. There is no
going back.
That's it. Once they make a decision, they all fall in line.
Yeah.
And you're the asshole. They just love the power.
The guy who pulled Tyreek out of the car was more aggressive than the guy who was telling him to get out of the car.
Yeah.
It was his buddy did the heavy lifting. All right, anyway, we hate these people, but still comply.
Comply.
You just have to comply.
Okay.
You can't roll your window up when they're talking.
Can't roll your eyes either.
Can't roll your eyes or your R's. Well, that guy rolled his R's. And I had to, when I heard like Dade County, Miami guy, I was like, I bet these guys are soccer fans. They're not. People are like, why didn't they know it was Tyreek Hill? And I'm like, that's not their vibe. That's not their sport.
Yeah.
They like plantains and soccer.
What's his name?
Pele.
Not Pele. Who's the guy that just bought the team in Miami?
Whatever. Oh, God.
Messi.
Yeah. All right. What else we got?
More aggressive enforcement, folks. The wife of a California inmate wins a $5.6 million settlement after being strip searched while going to visit her husband in prison. After traveling 4 hours to a correctional facility in California, Cristina Cardenas was subject to a strip search by prison officials, drug and pregnancy tests, X-ray and CT scans at a hospital, and another strip search by a male doctor who sexually violated her, a lawsuit said. She said, my motivation in pursuing this lawsuit was to ensure that others do not have to endure the same egregious offenses that I experienced.
So she's going to donate all the money.
And
Oh, no. They always miss that part.
Yeah.
No one goes, oh, so this is really your only motivation? Good. So the March of Dimes should be getting a $5.6 million check pretty soon.
She wants
right?
to raise awareness.
Yeah.
She wants her bank to raise their awareness that she's got
That's
some money
right.
in it now.
Well, in terms of the sexual violation, women have a secret compartment that's built into all of them, right? Mm-hmm. And they could get a fair amount of drugs or
They're kangaroos.
They're kangaroos. So they can get a fair amount of something in them. So somebody's going to have to look at something, right?
Well, neither an X-ray nor a CT scan found any evidence of contraband. So then when they strip searched her, this is why she's winning a lawsuit.
But why were they so hell-bent on she's got something in her?
One of the prison officials asked
cute.
her.
Yeah, she's hot as hell.
You're right.
Yeah.
So the policy is for the prison sort of Dr. Gyno searcher guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Couldn't dogs do this work if you really think about it?
A dog could do the work, and
A dog couldn't smell pot that was packed in coffee grounds and welded into the fender of a F-150 at the border. That's what dogs could do. So you don't think they could smell cocaine up a snatch? I bet they could.
I wonder if when you bring the drugs in, because you got 2 pouches as a woman, and I wonder if
Wait, you be talking about back pouch?
talking about the back pouch.
Yeah.
Do you think that the cocaine that gets brought in through the vaginal pouch is more valuable on the inside than the
Yeah.
back pouch? Because you're sniffing it.
Yeah, you're snorting it and right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I think it has a higher street value
Sure.
in the joint.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to.
I mean, maybe even higher than if she had brought it in her hand.
Oh, you're
Yeah,
right.
right.
Yeah, like a lot of these, quasi washed up starlets can sell their used underpants
Yeah.
online, and no one wants to buy new underpants from these people. They want soiled underpants.
Underpants with a story.
Yes, it's all about the story.
Yeah.
Yeah, provenance. I think they call it in the
Do they?
auction world. They call it provenance. You know what I mean? So up the ass, but in the cooch, that's provenance.
Yeah, right.
That's fish scale. That's
Yeah.
what they, that's what they say.
Yeah, so you're right. Probably has a higher value in the joint. But so she got inappropriately checked by everybody.
Yep, and one of the prison officials allegedly asked her, "Why do you visit, Christina? You don't have to visit. It's a choice, and this is a part of visiting." She's saying that they were trying to deter her from even visiting, and if she was going to come and visit her,
I gotta say, it would
Prisoner
slow my
husband.
roll if there was a thorough rectal search every time. Let's just say I went to the Cinnabon at the airport or something. They just
Yeah.
went like, you can have the Cinnabon, but we
Right.
have to do a thorough rectal search. I'd be like, yeah, I'll probably just keep heading down to Starbucks or something. I'll go somewhere
I
else.
haven't gotten a checkup in 3 years. Every time he puts his finger on my butt, I swear to God, I get sad for like 3 days. I don't even know what it is. Do you think I have trauma?
It could be. I had this funny. I was thinking about it when I was watching your special, and you're talking about that. I was thinking about. I got the finger once from a woman on a checkup. I had 2 finger stories. One is the first finger I ever got. I got the okay, you know how this goes, and I was like, not really. The behymen is still in place. Like it's not been punctured. But I know you think I know, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But here we go. The woman had me bend over the table, and on the wall was a sort of the old character. It was W.C. Fields, like pencil drawing with the gin blossom and the cigarette and everything. And she and I go, why is W.C. Fields like right here? And she's like, it puts people in a good mood. And I'm like, I find it neither here nor there.
Yeah.
Like as the stranger's shoving her finger up my ass, I wouldn't be like, well, if the Marx Brothers were represented, I would enjoy this.
Right.
No, I was, and she was like, she was explaining that it put people in a good mood to look at these pictures. She had them all around the office. And what I was saying as well is I go, listen, in the picture, W.C. Fields is holding a lit cigarette and a martini glass. You just lectured me for 20 minutes about drinking and smoking. Do you really think this is a appropriate message to put on your wall? And she goes, I never thought of that. I said, you should think about that.
Did you ever hear that joke? I'm going to butcher it, but it goes something like this. The doctor puts his finger in the guy's ass, and then he goes, stay calm, don't get an erection. And the guy goes, I don't have an erection. He goes, I'm talking to myself.
All right, what else you got over there?
The sales of dog strollers outpace baby strollers in the country with the world's lowest birth rate. Countries across the globe are facing population declines, as health journal The Lancet predicted. 97% of them will eventually have fertility rates too low to sustain their size.
Oh, you know what I saw yesterday? which I'd like to remedy, but maybe it's a thing, but maybe we can fix this. Homeless people used to use shopping carts. Their whole belongings were in their shopping carts. I see more and more homeless people with baby strollers. I saw a homeless woman, and I was walking down PCH, and she had the stroller. And first, your impulse is when you see the stroller, like from behind, you're like, there's a kid in there, not a 40, and a do-rag. But it was like she was pushing a pile of her clothes in a baby stroller, and the tableau is very sad. Sort of like there's so many kids' toys, stupid electric cars, the battery's gone and stuff. I see piles of kid shit and homeless shit, and it makes me that much more depressed.
Yeah.
We got to get them the shopping carts. The shopping cart's innocuous. It's like it could be used for groceries or clothing or whatever it is you're doing, but it doesn't drag me in a very depressing direction. The baby
They've gotten really
stroller.
good at protecting the shopping carts these days.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah. So I used to live in Venice, and I lived right behind a Ralph's. And I was having a Super Bowl party, so I had like 5 30-packs and whatever. And I'm like 40 yards from the Ralph's. So I was like, I'm just going to push this home, unload it, and I'll bring it back, you know? And I got to the edge of the parking lot, and it was magnetically stopping it.
It did the brake.
You could not push it past that magnet.
Whoa, that's a rough Ralph's. I live right around the corner from it. So did you live in that apartment
Lincoln
complex?
Place,
Yeah, Lincoln Place, yeah.
If you live near a rough place, that's kind of how you can tell when there's an issue with stealing shopping carts. Like bad, tough gas stations need your area code to use your credit card. They don't. Not in Carmel though. They're fine. They trust Whitey over there pretty good. Yeah. So the kid, the dog in the cart, or the dog in the stroller is a very sad tableau. It's South Korea, right?
Yeah, South Korea is one of the countries where the rate of baby strollers the sales rate is outpacing for dogs than for babies. Now,
dog strollers are selling more.
Yeah, they're not selling more, but they're outpacing them. So, soon the percentage of people who are buying them, I don't think they're actually selling more dogs.
Oh, I thought they sold more units.
No, I think what's happening is it's Korea, so that's Uber Eats.
They're driving. They're driving to the barbecue spit.
Yeah,
that's a good.
There's been a turning of the tables. The website conducted a study in 2021 when baby strollers were 67% of the sales and puppy strollers were only 33% of the sales, and now it's tipping. So we're not actually selling more baby strollers or puppy strollers yet, but we're on our way.
But also
in that direction.
All right, dogs should not be I live in a neighborhood where half the dogs have shoes. They put little booties on these dogs and they walk them around. And here's the problem with the dog and the stroller and the booties and the sweaters and everything. And those crazy women, they're like, he thinks he's a person. Look at him. Look at how he thinks he's a person. He thinks yes, you do. Yes, you do think you're It's okay. It satiates them. They don't really need families or kids. They have their
fur
dog.
babies.
Yes.
Fur babies.
I can't stand it when people do that. You go hey, you have kids? And I'll be like, yeah, I got 2 kids. Whatever, you have kids? Well, we have dogs. Well, if your dog got run over by a car, would you be upset as I would be?
Right.
If he ran away, would you keep looking after 3 months?
That was so funny because back to Bean of Kevin and Bean. Bean is famously never had kids and never been married and just never had kids. And I went to go visit his house when he was living out in Seattle after he moved away from here. And I was hanging out in his house, and I hadn't seen Bean in a number of years. I'd probably been 8, 9, 10 years. I was visiting him, and I was in his living room, and he's heard the door open, and he goes, "Oh, here comes Donna." That's his wife. "Here comes Donna with the babies." And I was like, "Oh, babies." And I got up, and 2 potbelly pigs came around the corner, and I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Have you,
George Clooney?
Have either of you guys seen Chimp Crazy on HBO?
No.
It's the new documentary about chimp lovers from the same people who did Tiger King. And everybody in this has children and has chimps and has their chimp above their children. Like they take far better care of all the children in it are like, my mom didn't care about me. She only cared about
Don't chimps attack occasionally?
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's in the documentary. You know, the woman in 2009, I believe, who got her face ripped off in Connecticut.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That woman in the woman who had that chimp is in the documentary. She gets another chimp.
Oh, really?
That woman got less than a year later. Bought another chimp after it mauled her friend in front of her.
Well, turn the other cheek.
I know. I'll bet you. I know this chick because when she got her next chimp after having her face torn off by the other chimp, then her friend, everyone said to her, "Why? Like you don't need. What are you doing getting a second chimp?" And I guarantee she drew this analogy. She's like, well, let's say you drove a car and you got into a bad car accident. Would you never drive another car? It's like, yeah, but you don't ride the chimp to work. Like you don't pick people up at the airport on a chimp.
Right.
You don't need a chimp. But you draw probably a bad analogy that had to do with.
Yeah, if the chimp attacks you, an airbag is not going to deploy
That's right.
to save you.
There's no crumple zone in your face for the chimp attacking. Yeah, they would look, kids eventually crack wise, talk back, don't do stuff you want them to do, yell, "You're not the boss of me," and all that kind of stuff. And the pets never do. They don't, you don't go to their high school graduation and you don't pay for their wedding, but there's never any downside in terms of like, COVID hit. I got my daughter screaming at me to take my shoes off before I come into the house, and next thing you know, I want a chimp.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen, I think we did a story a couple weeks ago about people spending more on their pet health care than their own health care.
Oh, I have 1,000% spent more on my Labrador Phil than my parents spent on me, and I will combine my sister, and I'm going to put in food, clothing, education. Now, I'm not limiting it to medical. Everything.
Yeah.
All in. Well, because there wasn't, 0 to 18, there wasn't any medical, couple of trips to the emergency room. But, oh, yeah. I mean, my dog ate a double-decker box of C's candy that, devoured the whole thing. Still in the wrapping paper.
Yeah.
Still a brick.
Like Labrador.
Wow.
Yeah, just full size. I'm talking full, 9 pounds of C's candy.
Doesn't chocolate kill dogs sometimes?
They
say
say
that.
fucking broth kills dogs.
Yeah.
Like everything online is everything kills dogs.
Right.
Ate half pound of gummies infused with pot. It was
wow.
oh yeah.
Yeah, my dog ate edibles one time, and she was under the bed. And I saw chocolate on the floor. I saw vomit on the floor. And so I start cleaning it up. And then I smell the pot. And I go, what the fuck? And then I realized it was my son had left it in his bag. He was in high school and he had his bag.
Mine was in the bag.
Yeah.
Got into the bag.
And she
ate it all.
She was just, her head was going back and forth. She had drool coming down. We had to take her to the hospital. And they put charcoal in her stomach and gave her an IV drip, and it cost $900.
Yeah.
And I said to my son, you're not going to pay for it, but you're going to walk the dogs every night for the rest of your life. And he did until those dogs died, which
Same
was
thing.
12
Wow.
year later. He walked them every single night.
Wow.
Yeah.
Phil had the same thing. We didn't go to the vet. We actually just went out and saw the band Fish.
You
actually, yeah, with the dog. Till he came down. They covered Dark Side of the Moon. It's a pretty good show.
Yeah. They started howling during the moon part.
Yeah. All right. Sorry. What else? Wait.
Speaking of terrible bands, Chester Bennington's son Jamie calls out Linkin Park's Mike Shinoda for betraying fans and replacing his late father with Emily Armstrong. Jamie Bennington is the son of the Linkin Park singer Chester Bennington, and he's very angry that they have replaced his father with a woman, Emily Armstrong, in the new version of Linkin Park.
I'm a little confused. First off, these kids, I'd like to just sit everyone down and go, your dad was what? He did what? Because let me introduce you to Jim Carolla. He didn't need to be replaced. He wasn't doing anything worthy of being replaced. You understand? Like, you had something, and now you're very upset. But your dad was in a huge band before he took his own life. By the way, Chester Bennington. Yeah.
Why, did he listen to their own music?
He was listening to demo tape. But what I'm saying to the son is the band not supposed to make any money or carry on or do anything?
He put up an Instagram post directed at Mike Shinoda. Hey, Mike, people aren't having a difficult time wrapping their head around the prospect of Linkin Park reinventing itself. They're having a hard time wrapping their head around how you hired your friend of many years, Emily Armstrong, to replace my dad, knowing Emily's history in the church and her history as an ally to Danny Masterson, the church, of course, being Scientology.
Wow.
She replied, several years ago, I was asked to support someone I considered a friend at a court appearance and went to one early hearing as an observer. Soon after, I realized I shouldn't have. I always try to see the good in people, and I misjudged him. So that was just one of the things he came at her and Mike over in the replacement. He also accused Shinoda of quietly erasing my father's life and legacy in real time during International Suicide Prevention Month.
Oh, really? God, everyone gets a month these days. Well, he killed himself. I mean, has it been 20 years?
I don't know if it's been 20 years, but it's been, I bet you it's
15 years?
Yeah.
I don't know. Someone's got to look it up. But I mean,
2017. So.
Oh, it's not been as long as as long as I thought. But it's been 7 years.
Yeah.
All right. So.
It's been 15 years since anybody cared about Linkin Park.
Right, but the band should be able to continue and tour and do whatever they do. And then you got a female. I mean, I like the idea of a female replacement because she's not going to get compared to his dad because she's bringing a different vibe to it. But I don't know. Is the son? I'm voting against the son.
I think they should be.
Case.
I think they should be Mary Todd Linkin Park now.
Did you ever see the documentary about Menudo where they change out the members as they get older? They just send them out to pasture and they bring in another young Mexican guy?
Yeah, Menudo's just like an ongoing.
It's just a name.
It's a never-ending replacement of Mexican guy.
Well, there's a black version of that, which is like the Coasters.
Yeah.
Like Charlie Brown was a hit in 1956, and you have a 28-year-old guy in the Coasters.
Yeah.
Like, I don't.
Yeah, the 4 Tops are like that too. It's more like the 11 Tops.
I didn't even know the Coasters. You know, an old white guy came up with the Coasters.
Coasters are still going strong.
He's like, what should we name this group of black guys? The thing we put our glasses on to make sure the fucking table doesn't get wet.
Yeah, the Coasters. Yeah, all right.
It's always at an Indian casino. I'll go do a show at an Indian casino, and then you see that. What's the guy's? Smokey Robinson is still touring.
But at least he's still touring.
Right.
I don't know how many of the miracles are by cause of miracle are still alive, but the Coasters have just been replaced to 4 Tops. And probably the Temptations, like all the black groups from back in the day. I wonder if we have what she sounds like. I guess we should find if she sounds good. This guy and Danny Masterson, that was a weird and crazy story. Like, try not to defend too many rapists, but I don't know, wasn't like one of it his girlfriend of X amount of years or something? He's just in prison for the rest of his life?
Yeah, there was a lot of accusations for him. There were a lot of, a lot of people accused him of raping them, basically. And then everybody was just like, I don't think so. Everybody kind of jumped to his defense and was like, he seems like a good guy.
Well, here's really the problem that no one really wants to get into. There's the definition of rape that we all had in our head from like watching movies of the week when we were in junior high. And then there's a new version of rape, which is she was intoxicated. And in the state of California, if you cannot have sex with someone who's intoxicated, because that would fall under. Or yes, they were a boyfriend and girlfriend and they were sleeping in the same bed, but she said no. There's a version of rape now that is still rape, but it doesn't comport with the ones we thought about when we were kids, that version of rape. So I never know who gets what version of what? You know what I mean? Like
Bill Cosby's free.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I'm saying. The Cos is in Brentwood playing pinball right now in his game room. Oh, we have the Linkin Park video. And the guy from that 70s show is never going to see daylight again. Okay.
I keep on lying to, I keep on lying to, already pulling me in, already under my skin, and I know exactly how this ends. I let you cut me open just to watch me bleed. Gave up who I am for who you wanted me to be. Don't know why I'm open for what
Sounds reasonable.
She's awesome. I love her.
It's not worse.
She was friends with Danny Masterson. Is that and then the other guy didn't do enough during Suicide Prevention Month?
Yeah.
I don't know, these are spurious charges to me. It doesn't sound like a lot.
Well, the guy, the kid from the son of the guy who's the lead singer of Sublime is now the lead singer of Sublime. This feels like Chester's son was like eyeing.
Oh,
that's what it feels like.
He's
to
a
me.
legacy.
He's like it's gonna be Linkin Park.
Oh, he's like Prince Andrew, or Charles, or whoever's thought he should be in line for the throne, but didn't get. Oh, he was because the Sublime guys.
Because there was Sublime with
he's Lachlan Murdoch.
Yeah.
As a fan of Sublime and Sublime with Rome and Sublime with this new guy, the son, it's not nowhere near as good as the old Sublime.
Really?
It's nowhere near as good as the original Sublime, or?
His son, Bradley's son, is trying to do his own thing with the songs. Same songs, just his own little, but it's not.
You know who's good is Ringo Starr's son plays for The Who.
Oh, really?
Something Starkey, and he's fucking great.
Sublime had that song Date Rape. Do you know that song?
It's about Danny Masterson.
It weaves a very intricate tale.
It does.
Do you know that one?
Yeah,
Now he's getting raped by a large inmate, not a medium size. He follows the guy's trajectory till he gets all the way through the penal system and gets raped by a large inmate.
Yeah, that's why they call it the penal system.
That's right. All right, let's do one more. If we have one.
New report sounds alarm on China's role in destroying U.S. families with fentanyl. A new report from the United States government finally is shining a light. The report noted massive numbers of death linked to the drug, which can be fatal in small doses and is estimated to have killed 75,000 Americans in 2023. Officials have frequently said that the illicit fentanyl is created in Mexico using Chinese precursors and is then smuggled across the border by drug cartels. It is often laced in other drugs so that users do not know they are ingesting fentanyl.
Yeah, society's kind of weird because I've talked to plenty of guys. Ed Calderon's a border expert guy. He used to be a cop in Tijuana. He would come on this show. And he used to be like, well, there's Chinese labs, and the Chinese labs are set up in Mexico because the Mexicans can't do the lab work, so the Chinese do the lab work, but the Mexicans then bring it across the border, and it's like, it'd be nice if somebody could sort of intervene in this process with the Chinese in Mexico and the lab, and then they're set up as a lab, and they know where it is. I mean, everyone knows the game. And China. I think China and Russia are basically just going, look. We don't want to have to deal with a hot war with the United States. Mm-hmm. Like it's almost like you going, I don't think I could beat that guy in the octagon, but I could give him syphilis and then wait. And then I'll come in and fuck his wife. And I think there's an element of like, they go, look, Russia will just interfere with a bunch of shit, and they'll essentially most of the shit they interfere with is race related. Like, well, we're basically going to start everyone's going to be high on fentanyl, and we're going to have a race war, and we'll be so fucking weak and depleted and fighting amongst ourselves and so high that they can just kind of slide in at that point. We don't have to outman them with tanks and missiles.
Right. It's like a siege. like what they used to do in in medieval times, where you surround the town,
Right.
and you don't attack them, you just starve them out.
Yeah, just wait.
Yeah.
Wait till they start fighting amongst themselves and ODing on fentanyl, and then we'll come in.
And we're just taking it hook, line, and sinker. We're just buying all of it.
Is Mexico? Mexico's like you got to deal with the cartels. Here's the question: would it be good for Mexico if we said we are going to label the cartels a terrorist group and then take them out? Because once they're labeled a terrorist group, you take them out, and then people are like, well, they're not a terrorist group. And you go, well, they do check a few terrorist group boxes. Like right now, they're just human trafficking and smuggling drugs and fucking up everything. And like, at what point do we just say to Mexico, look, this is going to be the best thing that ever happened to you. It's going to take a minute, but it will be good. Like, we're just going to fucking come in and just take the cartels out.
You get into like a deeper question, right? Of like, is there part of the people in our government that want a certain part of the population addicted to drugs that are coming across the border from Mexico? Like we had the crack epidemic in the 80s, and it was like we weren't just ignoring it, we were financially supporting it. So then,
I think there's people who are profiting, but I think by and large we'd like it to go. But I don't know. China's not our friend.
No.
Mexico is basically your friend who'll do anything for $100. So he may be your friend, but he'll also do anything for $100.
Yeah, this story says, unbeknownst to most Americans, the Chinese Communist Party is actively funding, supporting, and pushing America's most deadly drug threat in history. So Mexico's just like, oh, you're going to help fund our drug cartel?
Right. And
what do you need us to do? Put a little of this in? Sure.
And we're arguing over pronouns.
Yeah.
And they're laughing their fucking ass off.
60 Minutes did a piece. They tried to track the fentanyl in China. So they went over there. First of all, it's very difficult to get into China as a reporter. Impossible. They basically saddle you with observers the whole time. And they were just tracking down the addresses that the fentanyl was coming from. And it was all these like strip mall P.O. boxes. There was such a fucking web of deceit. And the government was not lifting a finger to help them find it.
Yeah, the government is sort of like Mr. Walters. Mr. Walters was our PE coach at Walter Reed Junior High. And my buddy Ray was like 2 sizes bigger than all the other kids. And Mr. Walters realized that he'd get fired if he put his hands on any of these kids that he hated. But he would tell Ray, go ahead and beat that little snot nose over there. It's giving me a hard time. And then he'd just watch Ray do his bidding, So, and then maybe give him a free slushie, because I think they had a slushie in the office. That's all it took. Yeah. So he knew he couldn't do it, but he certainly could get my buddy Ray to do it, and he would. And that's how Mr. Walters got his satisfaction. All right. Connie Wang, comedian, is going to zoom in. You guys are hanging out? I guess, yeah, hang out. Yeah, we'll take a break. Connie Wang is going to zoom in. We'll talk to her right after this. O'Reilly Auto Parts. They're in the business of keeping your car on the road. O'Reilly offers friendly, helpful service and the parts and knowledge you'll need for all your maintenance and repairs. That's right. It's not just about maintenance. You got to repair it every once in a while yourself. I've been going to O'Reilly since, knee-high to a boll weevil? I don't know what they say, grasshopper. I've always gone to O'Reilly. I used to live up in the hills in La Crescenta. I'd go to the one up on Foothill. Still there. Passed it the other day. They've got thousands of parts and accessories in stock, either in-store or online, so you'll never have to worry if you're in a jam. The team at O'Reilly Auto Parts can test your battery for free in or out of your car, which is nice. You don't have to pull it. If it needs to be replaced, they'll help you find the right battery for your vehicle. Need your windshield wipers replaced, brake light fixed, quick service, they'll help you find the right part or point you to the nearest local repair shop for help as well. Whether you're a car aficionado or an auto novice, you'll find the team at O'Reilly knowledgeable helpful, and best of all, friendly. So the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts are your one-stop shop for all things auto, do-it-yourself, and you can find what you need in the store or online. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com/Adam. That's O'ReillyAuto.com/Adam.
It's time to check Adam's voicemail.
Hey, Adam. Can we agree that all airport Starbucks should have some sort of express lane for people who want plain old coffee? Because when you order black coffee, they hand it to you at the register as soon as you pay. So when you're in a 15-person deep line at the airport under the gun to be somewhere on time, you're stuck waiting in line behind all the people who want their super custom, handmade dessert drink that's masquerading as coffee. Let there be one lane or some simpler way for the pour-and-go customer. Get it on.
You can leave us a message at 888-634-1744.
100% agree. And the same thing will be at night at the bar. Like you go to a wedding and there's a one guy and you want to order a Miller Lite and the guy in front of you goes, I'll take a slow gin fizz. And the guy's like, oh, I don't know if I have buttermilk. Let me go back and check. I think you could just could have handed me a beer. You just could have handed me a goddamn beer.
Right.
Connie Wang, good to see you, my dear.
Hi, thanks for having me. Good to see you too.
Canadian Famous is the name of the special. It is also on YouTube as well. And Connie, how long have you been doing stand-up?
About a year.
Wow. Newbie. I had you shot a special and you've been doing comedy for a year? I didn't know what direction to face on stage. Oh, Connie just froze up. A year into my. Can you hear us okay, Connie?
I can hear you great.
Oh, all right. Well, even though visually might be a little staccato, that's fine. So a stand-up special so soon into your career, that takes huevos, as your people would say.
Yeah. I mean, well, I've been acting my whole life. And then the Hollywood strike happened. And I was like, well, we got to do something. So I did a whole 1 hour special in less than 6 weeks. We made that up.
Less than 6 weeks? How did you memorize like all the material? Did you just like treat it like an acting gig?
I did. I definitely did. And then I just wrote stuff out. And then, well, it's a story. It's like my family story, basically. Like, first of all, being Canadian famous, nobody knows me. Nobody cares. So that's a whole shtick in itself. And then it really was telling like my parents' story. They're from China. So I heard a little bit about China.
Yes. What's with the fentanyl? Ask your mom what's going on with all this fentanyl
I'll
she
give her a
smuggled
call.
in. Yeah.
I'll let her. I'll report back to you. I'll call her after.
Or is she on a run right now? I don't know.
We don't
Fentanyl
know.
Run.
It's secretive. It's secretive over there.
Yeah, you guys, did you kind of flee China or did you just sashay out of there?
They fled.
They fled. Why? Why did they flee?
Yes. So we go over that too. It was from the Tiananmen Square shooting back in 1989. And then my dad applied for his student visa to come to Canada. And then he got it. It was like 10,000 people apply and then 2 people get accepted. And my dad was one.
And are your parents, I don't know, I look at Chinese as a little more traditional. They have goals, dreams for their children, not like my family. I got into comedy, but I could have gotten to gay porn. My parents would be like, yeah. Why are you telling us? But your parents probably thought you were going to do something important, and then all of a sudden comedy starts coming on and performing. And traditionally, they might have had thoughts about it, but you can tell us.
Yeah, absolutely. They were like, what are you doing? You're supposed to be a doctor, right? If you're not going to be a doctor, like you might as well teach.
Right.
Yeah. So, but I kept it going. I was like, okay, parents. And then I just went to school, did well, and did all the sciences, all the maths, everything I needed to do. But I still kept the arts going. Like I still kept comedy and acting going on the side. So as long as I had good grades, then it's fine, you know? So that's how I kind of use my brainiac side to win that.
Is the goal more stand-up or more performing or both?
So both. So I'm an actress comedian. So actually I'm working on my second hour right now because I got engaged last year. So I'm getting married.
Oh, congratulations. So by the way, it took Fitzdog 7 full years to put together, which you were able to cobble together in a couple of afternoons' work, by the way. Not to make him feel bad. He just doesn't have the work ethic, I guess.
It's the fentanyl. I got to get off the fentanyl.
He's beaked up on the fentanyl, and he can't focus
It really
anymore.
takes the bounce out of your step.
The fentanyl?
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah.
I find I sleep later.
Now, I do the same thing. I'm like, I'm going to do a couple of new jokes tonight, and then I get high on fentanyl, and I go right back to the old set.
I mean, the old me used to finish a show, go home, right now. Now it's just hand jobs in the alley to get a couple bucks
For
to
fentanyl.
nod out. Yeah.
Yep, it worked. So, second hour is on the way.
Yes.
And a
And
marriage.
And a marriage.
Engagement. Yeah. Who's the man? I don't trust this guy.
His name's John.
Aha!
You can't trust Johns, right? That name
No.
already.
Yeah.
Everyone's named John.
John Doe.
What's he do?
He's in finance.
Oh, okay. Good.
Yeah.
Now wait a minute. Is he Chinese? Is he Anglo? Did the parents approve?
The parents do approve. Yeah, he's Anglo, I'd say. He's like, his parents are from, his dad's from Ireland. His mom's from Germany.
Oh, boy.
Yep. So he was also born here in Canada as well.
Uh-huh.
A lot of potato salad in that house.
Listen, it's the best potato salad.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know.
the German potato salad. Yeah.
Well, you got German and you got Irish. Those are the two big potato salads. It's
just a war of skin on or skin off.
It is. It was one is with vinegar and one is with mayonnaise.
I've just heard of German potato salad and then potato salad. I didn't know there was Irish potato salad.
Look, we are potatoes. That's our
true.
thing.
Yeah,
When
it
the
is.
Germans came in, it was like, don't you got you've got racism.
Mm-hmm.
You've got trains running on time. Do you need potato salad?
Yeah.
It's all we got.
You know, they did the same thing. You know, the reason ranchero music sounds like pa music out of Mexico is because that's the Germans. Like, where's that That's very, think about it. Like, why is that coming out of Mexico? And there's some sort of German ranchero pa 1872 connection. So they just spread their stink all over the place.
Yeah, they get around.
Yeah. So you got a Canadian. Is the plan to stay in Canada or coming out to the United States?
Oh, yeah. I fly out to LA all the time. So it's nice. I've got management out there as well. So it's good. John and I went to Hollywood for the first time a couple years ago.
Disappointing.
Yeah, it was shocking.
Yeah. Yeah, Hollywood. Well, tell us the shocking part.
Well, I just didn't expect it to be what it was. I mean, it smelled like pee and there was like human turd on Michael Jackson's star, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was pretty drunk. And I just heard about what he did to those kids. And I was like,
Right?
I need to
You had
form. This is my form of protest. I don't want
Yeah.
to take to Twitter. I take it to the streets, literally.
And his star gets worse. Sometimes people beat it. Yeah. You can't clean that off.
Whose star has been? I think Trump's star
Star's bad.
has been hit the hardest. But who's second in the hit the star?
John Wayne
department. Maybe John Wayne.
Yeah.
John Wayne. Maybe would it just be like real hard right winger like Chuck Heston, or is it that, or is there somebody whose star's consistently been screwed up, been attacked the most, vandalized, thank you, the most?
It's a good question.
I'm going to get a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, by the way.
Yeah, it's
Get a
coming
guard.
soon, isn't it?
Definitely you are.
Yeah.
Have a guard on your star.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? Here's what I'm going to do. When you do the Hollywood Walk of Fame, they give you a symbol. Like it could be a movie screen or television. So that all the generations who come who've never heard of you go, I guess he did TV because there's a picture, there's a little bronze TV there, you know? So you have to kind of pick a lane. Well,
we have the 12 most vandalized stars.
Oh, I want to know.
Right?
My lane, mine's going to have a microphone because I'm getting in for radio. Your dad would be proud.
Yep.
So, but I'm also, you know, I'm controversial sometimes, and I admit there's a lot of people that don't like me. But I don't want them defecating on my star. So what if instead of the microphone, we put a wheelchair there? Don't you think people would be like, I'm going to blow a snot rocket on this racist. Oh, it's got a wheelchair. I don't even know what that's for, but I don't feel good. Let's go find Humphrey Bogart. I heard that guy was a misogynist. Like, right? Maybe like, you know, a wheelchair. I feel Star David wouldn't work, a cross wouldn't work in today's society, but just the bronze. Maybe we'll do the mic and the wheelchair. It seem
like you were famous for being handicapped.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
People would go, oh, I didn't know. And they'll go, Roosevelt was in a wheelchair. Nobody knew.
Right.
Crawley did the man show
And
in a
also,
wheelchair.
nobody's going to park in front of your star.
That's right. They'll get towed.
Yeah.
No snot rockets, no bowel movements, no piss, no nothing. With a wheelchair, keep most people away. Also, it's bad juju to like attack the wheelchair. Okay. All right. I'm going to get some thought. Sorry. Top 12.
12.
Do you think they call Harvey Weinstein that? The bad juju?
The bad juju. That's right. I had a heart attack.
The 12 most vandalized stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Bill Cosby.
Oh.
Yeah.
The cop.
Bob Marley.
What?
Yeah. Ellen DeGeneres.
Can I get an address on that one?
Yeah, Fitzdog's gonna make a little deposit on that bad boy on his way back to Venice.
Oh, wow.
J-Lo.
Wow.
John Lennon. This is all Adam. Mariah Carey. Michael Bublé.
What did he do?
What the hell?
Sofia Vergara.
Oh, people are just tired of hearing her.
Yeah.
Sharon Stone. Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen. Aretha Franklin.
What?
And of course, Donald Trump.
He's number one?
He's number one.
But
number one on the number two.
You know, but that's what you want when you're number one. It's like the Epstein flight list. Like you go, oh, you're on the Epstein flight list. And then you look down like three names and Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson. And you go, all right, now I'm good because I'm in amongst the decent or something. I mean, like Trump's got to be outraged, but then Aretha Franklin.
Aretha Franklin apparently gets vandalized because she wears a lot of fur. So it's a lot of the PETA crowd.
The vegans.
Yeah.
It's the vegans.
Same with Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen.
Oh, it's a PETA
And
group.
Sharon Stone. Okay, so it's all fur for those people. And then Sofia Vergara's was used as her actress amid the legal dispute over her frozen embryos. So somebody sprayed the words embryo defense, a name of a pro-life organization, on hers.
Yeah, she froze her eggs or something, and he froze his sperm, and then they got divorced, and then she wanted the eggs destroyed, and he wanted to make a paperweight out of them. I wasn't really listening, but he wanted to keep them, maybe in lucite on his desk. Something to remember her by, and she won a court thing and was able to have them destroyed.
Yeah.
I think that was her Sofia Vergara story. Who's that? Ellen, I get.
Yeah.
Who's the one that was confusing on
John
there?
Lennon, Jennifer Lopez, Bob Marley.
Yeah,
Bob
that's the most
Marley's
shocking.
confusing to me because it seems like
maybe his fans are just so fucked up they just are shitting their pants randomly and it ends up there.
Bad edibles or something.
Defaced with a hammer. So maybe somebody was just took drumming a little too far or something. I don't know. Like, what could Bob Marley possibly have done?
Yeah.
No explanation.
I don't know. But wait a minute. Who just died? The voice of Darth Vader.
James Earl Jones.
So he has to have a star, right?
I'm sure he does. Yeah.
And then what you have to do is like adorn it with flowers now.
Yeah.
Did you guys see a bit that was making the rounds, and somebody tweeted it to me? James Earl Jones did a Letterman top 10. Did you guys see that one?
Sounds familiar.
I saw it. Have you seen that one?
Mm-mm.
Connie?
No.
Letterman's too old for you, right?
Maybe.
Well, I mean, like so everybody of a certain age says, oh, I was totally influenced by Letterman. Like all my sort of contemporary comedian guys.
Yeah.
Like Jimmy was a total Letterman nut. Had a Letterman jacket when he was like 15. Has a Letterman cake for like seen pictures of him for his 16th birthday. Had a vanity plate on his Isuzu iMark in Phoenix, I think, Nevada, that said late night on it. Like he was a Letterman fanatic, and I loved Letterman. I wasn't crazed like Jimmy, but then I'm trying to think like we're all about the same age and grew up being influenced by Letterman, but you're 36, so who influenced you?
I'm younger than that.
Oh, you're younger than 36. Well, I'm going to cross this thing out on this paper here.
There we go, Kyle.
Yeah. All right. You're
Connie, how old are you, and who are your influences?
I'm 32.
Okay, 32. And your influence are comedically Cabbage Patch and who did you grow up thinking was funny, or TV shows you liked?
Was Jimmy Kimmel? I keep thinking Jimmy Kimmel. Like he was always around when I was around. He was always on TV.
Well, that's true because he's been on for 20 years and you were 12 or possibly 16.
Yeah. And he'd come on and he'd sing. Yeah, right. And he'd sing and he'd play with all his guests.
Well,
that's Jimmy Fallon.
I think that's Jimmy Fallon.
That's right. That is.
I'm gonna regret to inform Jimmy that I had a whole story about how he inspired the next generation and how Letterman inspired him. Oh boy, this is going to be a very difficult text to compose. Now I could say nothing, but that's just not like me. We have James Earl Jones on Letterman doing a top 10, which was always a great bit to do. It's a little long, but it's worth it.
When spoken by James Earl Jones. Here we go, number 10.
Hold on, it needs. Yeah, sorry, it needs a little. It needs the part where it's set up. It's better.
Character. Yeah, like that guy that was here earlier. Top 10 things that sound cool when spoken by James Earl Jones. Here we go, number 10.
I can't believe it's not butter.
Number 9.
Objects in mirror may be closer than they appear.
Number 8.
J-Lo in the house.
J-Lo in the house.
Yeah, that sounded cool.
Number 7.
Click here now for the hottest sex sites on the web.
He plays along beautifully.
And the Academy Award for Best Picture goes to Dude, Where's My Car?
I like that. Number 5.
You're not fully clean until you're zestfully clean.
Number 4.
You mean I get all these great funk classics on just one CD or cassette?
The next one's the best. I don't know why.
Number 3.
Number 3.
Well, now, wait a minute. That makes no sense at all. The number 2 cool thing when spoken by James Earl Jones.
Meow, 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 meow.
He does the whole thing.
Meow, 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 meow.
And the number 1 thing that sounds cool when spoken by James Earl Jones.
What's up?
He goes for it.
That's amazing.
Most guys would sort of do it, but do a little mailing but he went for it.
How much fun would it be to have been a Letterman writer writing top 10 lists? I mean, I could sit there all day and write stuff like that.
Remember he put out books of them?
Yeah.
Because he does how many? 300 a year, and then you just buy the books and you read them.
Connie, did either one of those gentlemen look familiar to you?
Yeah.
She's like Jay Leno. I've seen that guy before.
Yeah, Sam Jackson.
Yeah, I knew.
Yeah, right?
I knew, Hal Gurney, who was the original producer, they go, Hal, roll the tape, or whatever. Hal Gurney, he did The Man Show. We brought him.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just checked on him the other day. 99, still alive.
Damn.
Yeah.
And then Biff Henderson took over after him.
Well, Biff was
I said the same thing.
No, I think Biff was the stage manager and Hal was in the booth.
Yeah, the director in the booth. Yeah.
Hal would be you could picture early Letterman going, Hal, Hal, show the tape. And they'd show him up there every once in a while. All right, so we dislike Kimmel, but we like Fallon. And
right.
And I heard at other influences other than not being influenced by Jimmy Kimmel. You watch sitcoms? I mean, what'd you like? Movies you thought were funny?
What did I watch growing up? Like How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Mm-hmm. That is a good one.
Right?
Yeah.
What other sitcoms? I'm thinking. The 2000s. I'm like, this is so far back.
The Office.
The Office.
There you go. We'll feed you a couple lines.
I'm over here like,
How
there's so many streaming platforms, right? Like there's so much content. And I'm like, I can't think so far back to like what I watch. There's so much to choose from.
Well, the special is called Canadian Famous, and what you can do is you can go to YouTube and you can watch it for free, and then you can watch Fitzdog's special for free as well, called You Know Me, and that's on YouTube as well. And then the next special website, let's see, I'm going to spell it out. It's the Connie Wang, but it's WANG.com, right?
Yes. That's right.
And then we'll find out when the next special comes out.
That's right.
Thanks for joining us, Connie. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'm going to be in Corona, California, Dos Lagos Amphitheater, and that's going to be this Sunday, doing a stand-up show, and then Nashville at Salinas Sports Complex, and that'll be September 18th. Fitzdog's going to be all over the place as well. Zanies in Illinois, that's coming up September 12th through the 14th. And then, Montserrat Winery. That's Temecula, beautiful country.
Yeah, it's gorgeous out there.
September 21st. Fitzdog, congrats on the 100th appearance.
It's an honor. Thank you so much for always having your door open to me. Every time I come in here, I feel like I just had the best time I've had in weeks. So
right back at you. And again, congrats on a fine and funny, very funny stand-up special.
Thank you so much.
So, till next time, Adam Carolla for Fitzdog and Connie Wang and Joe Praino saying mahalo.